Okay, it's the Maniac. What we've got here, let me go over to it. Oh, I just stepped on the dog toy. This is the 4-element hybrid Moxon. This is what I use for going topside for VHF. It's very light, so I got irritated with getting out of the truck to spin the antenna. So I made up a little 12-volt DC rotator. Okay, so let me go through here. Don't pay attention to this. But basically, everything on my antenna system is coupled to 1-inch PVC. The preamp, the rotator, the antennas, both 6-meter Moxon, this 2-meter beam. They basically just plug and play. So what I did was, I've got a 12-volt DC motor, high torque, low RPM, about a 5 RPM motor inside here. This is 1.5-inch PVC. What I did was I wrapped it in electrical tape, or duct tape, just to give it a friction fit, and then I put set screws in all around the case to hold it in place, and that works good. 2 1.5-inch couplers. These are 1.5 to 1-inch reducers. Okay, so this, ignore this. This basically plugs right onto the push-up pole. Actually, the preamp goes onto the push-up pole right here. This plugs into the preamp, and the antenna plugs into this. Okay. This, I have a 1-inch. Believe it's just shy of 1 inch. It's probably 3/4 ID. OD is maybe 7/8. I think it's a 7/8 OD steel tube inside of this. And this goes down to the motor, and I had a little 1/4-inch sleeve bushing. And I drilled it and tapped it and put in set screws. So that's coupled to the motor drive. And then you've got a coupler. And then I took a steel tube and I welded a 1/4-20 stud onto the bottom of it with a washer. So it's basically a tube inside here with a stud sticking out, and that goes into the coupler, and then a set screw goes in. This is a 1-inch piece of PVC, and this is basically the bearing. So what I did was I used 60 grit sandpaper, and I sanded down the part that slides in here so it would move freely. And then I dropped the 1-inch coupling tube on it, dropped that tube on it, and then I put a set screw in. So this tube is coupled to the steel tube, which spins on the motor. So this becomes the bearing. Not sure if I'm going to do this yet, but I've got roller switches, which I'll do another video on, which I'm thinking about mounting right here, 4 of them, and then put a bump, something to bump the switch, which will give me azimuth position using LEDs on the switch box. That's coming at a later date. Not sure when I'm going to get to that. But that's basically it. I just greased this with some good old Vaseline, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so this is a switch box. The LEDs, if I do them, are going to go in right here: north, east, south, west. And the power's coming from a Cat 5 cable. The reason why I used a Cat 5 is because it has multiple strands in it, so I can feed the switches. Okay, I'm just using a little battery here to show you what's going on. So we'll get it going. Here we go. South, west, north, going back the other way. North. So there you go. And that's it. On the cheap, make sure you get a centric shaft motor drive if you're going to do this. Centric shaft motor drive with, make sure it's a high torque. You use any old motor, get it off of Amazon. I think it cost me $10. And there you go. I'll be back with the switches.